Welcome to Cambodia. In today's episode, I want to show you how you can explore some parts of this country with only 1 week to spare. After spending 1 month in the Philippines, my sister Charlotte and I only had 8 days here before we head over to Vietnam. So let's go. We landed in Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. Make sure your passport is valid for 6 months before you go, and visa on arrival is available at most large airports, and it will cost you around $30. We booked our stay through the Agoda app on our phone. We were staying there for 2 nights and we paid around $7 per person. It's pretty big. I mean, it's a 3-star hotel. That's a nice bathroom. We have a shower head. After we checked in and left our luggage at the hotel, we headed to the streets to find somewhere to eat. I always use Happy Cow to find vegan places to eat when I travel. We got the avocado toast,
mango madness, passion fruit juice.
Yep, and we got sweet potato fries, guacamole salsa, pita bread, and green ice. So we just had an amazing lunch at Backyard Garden, and it's supposed to be the first vegan, vegetarian cafe here in Phnom Penh. So it was a huge success. I had avocado smash and a really good smoothie. And now we all just got dressed and we are ready for the Royal Palace over there. Let's go. You're our guide and your name is?
Yeah, my name red, like a red color. So in the palace, Cambodia.
Okay.
Yeah. When you see the flags here, blue, mean the king in the palace. No flag, the king outside Cambodia. We're going to see this area, the throne hall area and the silver pagoda. So this is national flag, Buddhist flag and the king's flags.
How old is the king?
67. So this from 1866, 1913, and the king lived behind. The blue flag behind there, the king residence.
Oh, that means he's there. Right?
Yeah, he's there, yeah.
The king is there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi?
Yeah.
What's your name? Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cuties! We're done here at the Royal Palace, and we had a guide, highly recommend it. His name was Red, and it was really nice. I mean, if we went there without having a guide, we wouldn't have understood anything. We'd be like, yeah, this is nice. You have to see the Royal Palace when you're here. After that, we headed to the local market and walked around for a bit before we headed to a rooftop bar called gunfire. We ordered some appetizers and drinks and enjoyed a stunning sunset over Phnom Penh. After the sun went down, we were pretty hungry, so we headed to this place called Phnom Penh India Restaurant. Pretty original name, no? They had tons of vegan options and the food was really good. The next morning, we woke up early and got ready for a long day. Good morning, everyone. It's 11:30 here in Cambodia, Phnom Penh. And we are on our way to the Genocide Museum, actually. And this tuk-tuk is bringing us there. It takes 45 minutes. So we paid $15 to have our tuk-tuk driver drive us to 2 locations. First, we're going to go to the Genocide Museum. And then we're going to go to the killing fields after. It's all really dark, sad, and I mean, they had a ruthless leader. All this was only 40 years ago. When you go to Cambodia, you kind of have to do it to understand their culture and understand what happened to their history. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to film from it. Our tuk-tuk driver is gonna wait for us at each location. I think it's supposed to take approximately 2 hours at every stop. After that, I'm not sure what the plan is. We're just gonna go around, explore Phnom Penh. Welcome to the shooting range. A bit change of plans. Our tuk-tuk driver convinced us to go and shoot AK-47. So let's go see what guns they have. So after reading up about this, I found out this is a very common tourist trap. The tuk-tuk drivers get a commission for bringing us here. This was my first time shooting with a gun, and it was actually a bit scary and intimidating. Here, I'm literally telling him to hold me so I wouldn't fly backwards like I've seen on the Hollywood movies. Then I was off to the heavy part, to learn more about Cambodia's tragic history. The killing fields, or the genocidal center, is located about 45 minutes outside Phnom Penh. We paid $6 to enter, and the audio tour was included. You kinda need the audio tour so you get a better understanding of the whole site. There are several stops along the way, which all includes heartbreaking information. You learn a lot about their leader Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge, how people were killed, and where they were thrown in mass graves. You'll also see a lot of their bones, teeth, and pieces of clothing. By the first glance of this site, it kinda looks beautiful, but in a wrong way. We literally saw butterflies and lush greenery everywhere, and birds were singing in the background. The last stop on this site is the Memorial Stupa, which also looks beautiful at first, before you realize what's inside. When you go closer, you see that it's filled with 17 levels of skulls, all different sizes, women, men, and children. The skulls are marked with a colored sticker to tell you how they were killed. The reason I want to include this in my vlog is because I do agree with the Cambodian people that this is something that should not be forgotten. History has a tendency to repeat itself, and there's still so many people that don't know what happened here. As I mentioned earlier, the genocide only happened 40 years ago, and the leader of the Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot, died in 1998, without ever being charged for the horrific crimes he committed. If you go here, or you decide to learn more about it, I of course have to warn you that this is the most messed up thing I've ever seen, and it's incredibly hard to process. After that, our tuk-tuk driver drove us to the Genocide Museum, or the S21 prison. It was an $8 entrance fee and $5 if you didn't want the audio guide. Again, I highly recommend you do the audio guide so you understand better what happened here. This used to be a high school before Pol Pot turned it into a prison where he tortured and killed Cambodians. There is so much to say, but to not make this too dark, I'll end it with saying they killed over 2 million people and only a few people survived. The best thing you can do for Cambodia now is to visit. It has a lot to offer regardless of its dark past. Later that night, we headed out to eat. Similar to other Asian countries we've been to, Cambodia too has pretty crazy traffic. Always follow the locals. That's the safest thing to do. Not always, but... We went to a place called Cocina Cartel. Let's check it out. So we are here at Cocina Cartel or Cocina Cartel. I think Cocina. I don't know. I got the nachos, guacamole, that we were able to find vegan or make it vegan, whatever. And it's really, really good actually. So this is the nachos. They had no vegan cheese, but they had beans. Let's do it. So yeah, I'm gonna eat. After that, we went back home, packed, and got ready to leave early to Siem Reap the next morning. We made sure to wake up early enough so we could bring some food from Backyard Cafe with us on a bus trip to Siem Reap. We bought the bus tickets from the front desk at our hotel. They were about $10–15. The bus trip to Siem Reap takes around 6 hours, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it compared to flying, which often costs $100. When we arrived in Siem Reap, the hotel organized a tuk-tuk driver to pick us up, so we got that for free. We stayed at the Angkor Elysium, which we also booked at the Agoda app. We stayed there for 5 nights and paid around $16 per night. The hotel was located a bit off the beaten path, but it was totally worth it since it was nice and cheap, and they had free tuk-tuk driver back and forth to the city. The room was nice, clean, and we had our own balcony. We got to the hotel super late, so we literally jumped into bed right after checking in. The next morning, we woke up early because we had breakfast included with the hotel, and it was actually pretty good. We didn't do too much this day because it was really sunny and warm, so we wanted to tan and have a relaxing day. Later at night, we headed into the town to check out Siem Reap night market. They had so many food stands, and the streets were filled with small shops selling all kind of different things. We did some shopping and ate at a pretty average restaurant next to the night market. After that, we ended up at a bar that I don't remember the name of. On day 5, we decided to visit the floating village outside Siem Reap, Kampong Pluk. It's located approximately 30 kilometers from Siem Reap, and it took us almost an hour to get there with our tuk-tuk.
So we just got to the floating village area. It's called Kampong Pluk or something like that. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. You guys know I'm not the best with pronouncing stuff. This is where you buy the ticket. We paid $30 to get a little tiny boat inside the floating forest. So yeah, I'm excited to see it.
So yeah, you basically pay for a tuk-tuk driver to stay there the whole day, and then you pay around $20–30 per person to enter the floating village with the boat. This mom and her incredibly cute daughter drove us back and forth to the floating village.
So we just got here. Now we're sitting inside the boats. That's gonna take us around to the floating forest. It's really, really cool here. It's really calm. They have really nice music, and you get to see where all the locals live. So we just got here to the floating forest, and it's really, really cool and beautiful. The only negative thing, I guess, is that they're all trying to sell you stuff, and it's really expensive.
What I'm trying to say here is be prepared for some real pressure. I didn't film the worst parts because the woman who drove our boat yelled at me. They shoved their almost newborn babies up in our faces and told us they were hungry, they needed food, please buy rice for like $50. We of course always want to do our best to support the locals, but this was just really uncomfortable, and they surrounded our boat and they were not happy if only Charlotte bought stuff from them.
But it's really, really nice here.
After that, we headed back home, and I stopped by a place called the Gringo Garden and got some really good food to go. We went to bed early because we had to wake up super early for the next morning.
Good morning, everyone. By the look of my face, you can probably tell that it's really, really early. It's actually 5 a.m. and we're here at the ticketing office at Angkor Wat, and we're gonna buy a one-day pass to the temple. And this is our guide here. So Mr. T is gonna take care of us today. Hopefully show us all the best spots, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, as you see, it's a lot of other people here. So waking up early, it's worth it, but everyone else is doing it too.
There are 3 different temple passes you can get, and we got the one-day pass for $37. But if you have more days to spare, you can choose the 3-day pass for $62 or the 7-day pass for $72. There are over 72 major temples just in the Angkor Wat area and hundreds of smaller ones, so there's a lot to explore. We also paid around $20 for the sunrise experience and our private guide. I'll link their link below.
So right now it's 5:35 and we're about to watch the sunset over Angkor Wat, and it's so beautiful.
This view was one of the most beautiful I've ever seen. It was just so majestic, and to finally see Angkor Wat was surreal. This temple complex was built in the year 1110, which makes it almost 900 years old. Historian says it took about 30 years to build. After some exploring, we stumble across this peaceful monk. It's not every day you get the chance to be blessed by a Buddhist monk in the Angkor Wat. Remember, take off your shoes, donate, be calm and respectful.
So we just got back out from Angkor Wat, or we're still here, still walking, but it's huge and it's so beautiful. But now we're on our way to the second temple, and our guide is really nice, and he's saying that we're gonna like the second temple a lot, so I'm excited to see it.
The second temple was called Bayon Temple and is part of Angkor Wat. It's famous for all the huge smiling Buddha faces, and there honestly is a sea of faces carved into the rocks. It can be a bit overwhelming, but it's so beautiful. Our tour continued to the third temple, Ta Prohm, also known as the Jungle Temple or the Tree Temple, referring to the enormous trees surrounding the temple. The roots of the trees are enormous, and it makes them a major hit with tourists, making this one of Angkor's most popular temples. And also several scenes from Tomb Raider was filmed here, so you're also walking in Angelina Jolie's footsteps. The last temple we visited was called Bantai Kadai. This is a less visited temple, so it makes it a lot more quiet and pleasing to walk around.
So yeah, we just visited the fourth temple. This temple tour was literally so amazing. I mean, we got to see the Tomb Raider temple. All in all, we got to see 4 temples today. We woke up at 4, or our driver was picking us up at 4:30, and now it's 11:30, so that's 6 hours, and we paid about $10. Along the way, They have the locals and they're selling fruit and clothes and souvenirs. Yeah, they're all very, very friendly, but it's a lot of pressure of buying stuff.
The next day was our last day in Siem Reap, so we spent it just exploring more of the city center, did some more souvenir shopping, and ended the day at this amazing Indian restaurant called Taj Mahal. The food was cheap and really, really good. Day 8 was the last day in Cambodia, and we had our last breakfast at the hotel, said goodbye to the nice staff, checked out, and headed to the airport.
So we just left our hotel here in Siem Reap and now we're at the airport. Again, we're a little late. They said we needed to be here 2 hours before and it's actually 5:15, so hopefully everything's gonna be okay. I need to get to Vietnam to get like good stuff happen. In Cambodia we had some ups and downs. Everything on my memory card got deleted, my hard drive crashed, and we used way too much money. So yeah, hopefully Vietnam, you're gonna treat us well. Let's go. Okay, so we're standing here at the airport. We were about to check in. We thought we left all the luggage on a luggage thing and we didn't get to go on board because we did not have a ticket out of Vietnam. So we learned you need a ticket out of Vietnam to get into Vietnam. So don't do that mistake. So now me and my sister is gonna go on Skyscanner, see if they have any cheap tickets out of Vietnam so we can get into Vietnam. So yeah, see you then. Finally, we got on board. We managed to book a ticket and now we're on our way to Vietnam. Finally. Okay, see you there.
So that wraps up our 1 week in Cambodia. I hope you got some inspiration and tips to your next travel to this interesting country. Please comment below if you have any questions or recommendations for other travelers. Let's help each other get the most out of our travels. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and comment. It really helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you can continue to follow my travels. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video from Vietnam. Bye!